On a lonely mud bank, there lives a strange creature that seems to stand on the threshold between two worlds. Its name is the Mudskipper, an unusual species of fish, a surprising and fascinating mystery of nature. While most fish drown in water, the Mudskipper chooses to adventure in the mud, crawling with its muscular fins, like an explorer taming the challenging wetlands. Its body is small and slender, full of endurance. Its fins, which at first glance seem useless on land, are the key to its existence. They are like strong hands, holding its body as it jumps from puddle to puddle, searching for food and survival. Each jump is not just a physical movement, but an attempt to challenge the usual laws of nature. It refuses to be just a water fish. It wants to be more than that. In the afternoon, when the sun shines on the muddy swamp, the Mudskipper emerges from its nest. It moves elegantly, using its fins and tail to jump over the sticky mud, as if unattached to the underwater habitat that is home to other fish. In the midst of the mud puddles that burn in the heat, it constantly searches for food, small insects, crustaceans, and plankton. Each catch is another small victory in its eternal fight for survival. But life on land is not without its risks. As an inhabitant of an ambiguous world, the Mudskipper is constantly faced with deadly challenges. With its gills adapted to breathe both in water and on land, it can survive for hours out of the water. But the dry air and burning mud in the sun can be deadly. To protect itself, it must constantly moisten its body, absorbing oxygen through its skin and keeping its gills moist. The Mudskipper is a fish with a very distinctive morphology. This fish has two protruding eyes like a frog's, a stubby face with outstretched dorsal fins, and a long, rounded body like a torpedo with a rounded tail fin. Its large eyes, protruding from its head like a watchtower, are always on guard, as if ready to watch for any threat or opportunity. Its eyes are unlike any other fish. They can see far above the water's surface, catching flashes of light from the unfamiliar terrestrial world, while also observing shadows in the murky water that covers its hiding place. In addition to its distinctive appearance, the Mudskipper also has a very unique behavior. This fish can survive for a long time on land, even spending 90% of its time on land. That is why this fish is also called an amphibian fish, because its eyesight, breathing, and movement are more dominant on land. In addition, this fish can also climb mangrove roots, jump far, and walk on mud. It has strong, muscular pectoral fins, where these fins can be bent and function like arms to creep, crawl, and jump. This ability to survive on land is also supported by its ability to breathe through its skin, as well as the mucous membranes in its mouth and throat, which can only be done in moist conditions. Therefore, every so often, the mudskipper fish needs to dip itself in water to keep its body wet. Generally, mudskippers stay on land for between 7 and 8 minutes before finally returning to the water. In addition, mudskippers store some water in their enlarged gill cavities, which allows the gills to always be submerged and functioning while the fish is walking on land. Mudskippers prey on various animals, ranging from laundry crabs, shrimp, fish, shellfish, squid, to weaver ants and flies. In fact, this fish is also thought to eat a few plants. When exploring land, mudskippers also often attack and chase away other mudskippers in order to protect their territory. Living in tidal areas, mudskippers usually dig holes in soft mud to make nests. These holes can be very deep and branched, filled with water and a little air in certain spaces. When the tide rises, mudskippers will hide in these holes to avoid predatory fish that come. During the mating season, red, green, and blue spots will appear on the male mudskipper's body to attract the female. The mudskipper will impress the female by jumping high into the air. If interested, the female will follow the male to the hole where he lives. Male mudskippers have a kind of copulatory tool on their genitals. In one mating season, the female can lay up to 70,000 eggs. After fertilization occurs, the eggs are usually abandoned by the female. Meanwhile, the task of guarding the eggs will be carried out by the male mudskipper. To get the oxygen needed by the eggs, the male mudskipper will come to the surface and swallow oxygen and then exhale it into the hole.